That day, the atmosphere was serene, a quiet stillness wrapping around the home in the absence of my parents. Seated on the sofa, I discovered I was not truly alone. Daniel was there with me. A comedy danced across the television screen, drawing me in with its playful charm amidst my scattered thoughts. Enthralled by the vibrant imagery surrounding me, I nearly forgot all else. Daniel sprang to his feet, his eyes burning with intensity, more of an unusual hue, as though he had just unearthed a deep revelation. He rushed to the main door, a shroud of silence surrounding him. A subtle click echoed in my ears, igniting my curiosity even more. Daniel had fastened the door with a sturdy lock. He pivoted sharply and hurried in my direction, his eyes laden with a deep, indescribable feeling. Daniel charged at me, leaping into action before I could fully comprehend what was happening, catching me unprepared and offering no chance for a response. The very essence of space appeared to be gasping for breath. Time seemed to freeze. Everything unfolded like a sudden cyclone, sweeping away all boundaries as I remained paralyzed and stunned. The events that unfolded would, without a doubt, alter the trajectory of my life forever. Greetings, I am Lana, a 29-year-old woman embarking on the journey of life. As the only child in my intimate family, I navigate a blissful life, surrounded by the nurturing embrace of my parents' love and attention. They steadfastly support my personal interests and offer me the best items available. Among my many interests, my greatest passion is the art of raising pets, especially the wonderful companionship of dogs. At the youthful age of 15, I unearthed a deep love for dogs. Throughout that time, I became captivated by a variety of animal-themed television shows, continually charmed by the visuals of devoted, beautiful dogs. For what seemed like an endless stretch of time, I beseeched my parents to bestow upon me the delight of owning a dog. At long last, my parents gave in, and there I stood at a dog farm, poised to select a four-legged friend to embark on life's journey with me. Upon entering the kennel, I was immediately surrounded by the vibrant tumult of the puppies, a delightful storm of energy and enthusiasm. Among them all, one dog, in particular, seized my attention right away. It was a Great Dane with gentle eyes, sleek fur, and an impressively towering stature. Despite his impressive size, the Great Dane radiated a delightful innocence as a puppy, enchanting everyone with his charming personality. At first glance, I sensed an incredible bond with this dog. In an instant, I decided to embrace him as part of my circle of friends. At first, my decision caught my parents off guard. Concerns were voiced regarding the challenges that come with caring for a large breed like the Great Dane, which could indeed be quite demanding. Nevertheless, I succeeded in persuading them with my steadfast resolve and profound affection for this puppy. As we embraced him into our lives, we decided to call him Daniel. The early days with Daniel were nothing short of extraordinary. He had a charm that was at once endearing and playful. Daniel displayed an impressive intellect, quickly understanding fundamental commands like wait, stand, and sit. A profound bond blossomed between us, as we relished each transient moment, wandering through the park or lounging on the floor, embracing the tranquil quietude enveloping us. Daniel experienced a rapid metamorphosis, changing with astonishing swiftness. He grew into a splendid, friendly, and devoted giant of a dog. Daniel occupied a beloved position within the family, surpassing the status of just a pet. Daniel offered unwavering comfort, his soft gaze and affectionate licks bringing solace in times of sadness or unease. Daniel elevated his existence beyond that of a simple pet in my life. More than just a friend and companion, he embodied the unwavering love that connects humans and animals. Daniel shared invaluable lessons on patience, accountability, and the significance of treasuring life's small pleasures. I firmly believe that everyone is entitled to an extraordinary companion like Daniel, a friend who provides steadfast love and support, remaining by your side regardless of your circumstances or identity. In my mind's eye, I had always pictured a future where Daniel and I would bask in an eternal love, cohabiting in a realm of serene happiness. On the day I turned 18, an unexpected occurrence unfolded that significantly altered the relationship between Daniel and me. The Sunday morning revealed a captivating allure. In keeping with our tradition, Daniel and I strolled leisurely through the park close to our home. Daniel cherished these excursions deeply. He would dart around, relishing the brisk air, occasionally pausing to observe the birds soaring overhead or to breathe in the scent of a flowering bush. Seeing Daniel's joy always managed to light up my own heart. That morning, however, revealed itself in a manner that was truly unparalleled. As we meandered onward, Daniel experienced an abrupt metamorphosis. He halted, his senses sharpened, his gaze tracking the outline of a distant dog. Adorned in a breathtaking golden coat and moving with an elegant stride, she was a female Great Dane of extraordinary beauty. An unseen pull beckoned Daniel to the puppy the instant his gaze landed on it. His powerful legs surged forward with a speed that left me momentarily stunned, while he exuberantly wagged his tail. I put forth all my strength to guarantee that the leash stayed firmly attached to Daniel's neck. Yet, Daniel commanded an undeniable power. I stumbled, nearly losing my footing as it pulled me across a significant distance. It seemed completely unaware of my desperate shouts for Daniel. Like a bolt from the blue, it surged forward, propelled by an instinctive fervor toward the other dog. A shroud of uncertainty wrapped around me, and my heart raced within my chest. In a moment of utter desperation, I called out, "Daniel, halt!" Daniel was startled by the fervor of my outburst. He stopped, turning to face me, his expression a mixture of bewilderment and remorse. It was only at that moment that I genuinely grasped the profoundness of Daniel's grief. His ears drooped, and his eyes mirrored a profound sorrow, as though he grasped the gravity of his actions and the grief they had inflicted upon me. In that fleeting moment of uncertainty, I resolved to bring Daniel home, carefully unfastening the leash with a gentle touch. As we made our way home, I couldn't shake the feeling that Daniel was somehow changed, not quite embodying his usual self. He stopped, his joyful tail wagging and spirited running. He chose to walk beside me, his pace quiet and measured. A wave of emotion surged within me, an inexplicable force that eluded definition. A pang of regret coursed through me for having raised my voice at Daniel, accompanied by a profound wave of sorrow for him as well. Yet, I found myself contemplating whether our connection would endure as it always has. In the quiet embrace of the night, Daniel settled into the corner of the room, his eyes shimmering with the echoes of dreams yet to unfold. He might have been reflecting on the splendid Dane he encountered that morning. As I approached Daniel, I tenderly caressed his sleek fur and whispered softly, "I will always love you, Daniel, no matter what. Nonetheless, I need your attention. Are you following me?" Daniel looked up at me, his eyes glimmering with a depth of understanding that felt nearly profound. I offered a faint smile, wishing for the preservation of the delicate bond we had forged. In keeping with my usual ritual, I enveloped Daniel in a tender embrace before he surrendered to the embrace of slumber that evening. Daniel often found solace in curling up beside me. His steady breathing radiated a deep sense of safety and calmness. As was my nightly ritual, I softly laid my hand upon his back, stroking his smooth, silky fur. Daniel released a soft moan, as though he sensed something unusual when my fingers brushed against a particular spot. Even though the sigh was faint, it managed to surprise me, while Daniel remained motionless, appearing completely unfazed. My heart raced with an extraordinary fervor as I slowly pulled my hand away from it. In that ephemeral instant, I experienced an odd feeling, one that was simultaneously perplexing and unsettling. Bathed in the soft glow of the night light, I remained motionless, my gaze locked onto the ceiling above. A wave of restlessness surged within me as a whirlwind of disparate ideas began to swirl through my mind. A unique bond had once ignited between Daniel and me. However, an extraordinary event had unfolded. With a slow, deliberate motion, I rose from the embrace of my bed, driven by an unquenchable curiosity that demanded to be explored. Furthermore, a stick lay before me. A nameless mixture of thrill and apprehension surged through me as I beheld it. As I nestled into my seat and directed my attention to the stick, a surge of anxiety enveloped me. With a measured slowness, I eased my hand in, as though an invisible power was guiding my thoughts. The warmth wrapped around the surroundings, creating an air of enchanting mystery. Every time my fingers grazed its surface, Daniel would tremble with an involuntary shudder. Finally, something oozed out and adhered to my hand. I stood up and faced Daniel, who was peacefully lost in his dreams. I softly lowered myself onto the bed, encircling him in a warm embrace, mindful of his peaceful sleep. That night, sleep slipped through my fingers, crafting a tapestry of restlessness in the stillness of the hours. A strange door appeared to creak open between Daniel and me, evoking an unusual feeling and a persistent curiosity within my thoughts. The unexpected depth of connection that blossomed within me, ignited by Daniel's heartfelt emotions, caught me completely off guard. Beyond his unwavering loyalty as a dog, he was a complex individual, embodying emotions and actions that demanded time for me to truly comprehend. That night, an unusual and elusive sensation began to permeate my very being. Each time my eyes met Daniel's, my heart raced, the steady beat within me becoming increasingly urgent. Daniel had risen above the confines of being just a dog or a simple companion. He had transformed into something infinitely deeper and uniquely exceptional. A tempest of exhilaration and bewilderment surrounded me as I contemplated the enigmatic occurrences within my own essence. Daniel appeared to sense my transformation as well. Whenever I looked at him, his eyes appeared to narrate a new tale. They appeared to embody an elevated sense of thoughtfulness and courtesy, as though he had an extraordinary knack for unraveling my innermost thoughts. There were moments when I found Daniel staring at me, his gaze so intense it was impossible to overlook, his captivating eyes brimming with emotions I struggled to understand. Our profound bond seems to have reached a heightened significance. On a serene afternoon, Daniel and I discovered ourselves in the yard, as the sun softly wove its way through the branches of the trees. Daniel rested his head against my thigh, his eyes softly fluttering as he lingered beside me, seemingly savoring the serenity of the moment. The warmth emanated from Daniel as I extended my hand to stroke his silky fur. This time, though, I felt an electric current surging through my body, substituting the typical sense of familiarity. In that exact instant of connection, an unusual shiver ran through my being. I leaned in, my eyes locked onto Daniel for what felt like an eternity. His wide brown eyes glimmered with an unusual insight as he raised his eyelids. In that moment, it seemed as if he were speaking directly to me, a quiet connection lingering in the air, unarticulated yet profoundly felt. Daniel's gaze left me perplexed, yet it also provided an unexpected comfort. On a fateful day, the world unraveled into utter chaos. On that particular day, it was solely Daniel and I in the house, as my parents had ventured out for the day. The house, once a sanctuary filled with warmth and laughter, gradually fell into an eerie silence. Daniel and I discovered ourselves in solitude within the confines of the room. A blend of excitement and a touch of unease enveloped me, as though a significant moment was poised to reveal itself. Daniel reclined next to me, keenly watching each gesture I made. He felt the strange ambience of the place. A shroud of uncertainty wrapped around me as I contemplated the origin of my unease that day, while Daniel's eyes, always gentle and insightful, seemed to be anticipating something just out of grasp. Within the quietude of the house, the sole sound that broke the silence was the steady ticking of the clock. Daniel and I found our way to the living room, where we sank into the comfort of the couch, letting the soft glow of the flickering TV screen wash over us as we indulged in a light film. Daniel lay comfortably near my feet, his head softly nestled against my knee as I relaxed on the couch. Daniel's eyes shimmered with a heightened radiance as the flickering light of the television played across them. Daniel abruptly stood up, his eyes gleaming with an extraordinary brilliance, as though he had just uncovered a significant truth. He hurried to the main door, quiet yet determined. Daniel had locked the door, plunging me into a haze of doubt about whether I had genuinely heard something. He spun around, a profound emotion that eluded words shining in his eyes, and hurried toward me. Daniel surged forward and caught me off guard, preventing any chance for me to process the situation as it unfolded. The very essence of space seemed to be gasping for breath. Time seemed to freeze. Once I found myself frozen in place, captivated by awe. A sudden tempest erupted, erasing all limits. In that moment, I was frozen, rendered speechless, unable to form even a whisper. Time seemed to freeze. The mounting tension enveloped the air, stifling all sense of ease. The world surrounding me faded into a haze. The sole sound cutting through the mist was the steady thrum of my heartbeat. The subsequent occurrences unfolded like a tempest, erasing all lines and differences. A shroud of uncertainty wrapped around me as I contemplated Daniel's motivations, rendering me bewildered about how to move forward in that moment. Still, I was certain that the events that had just transpired would forever alter the trajectory of my life. Once a door had swung wide, there was no way to return it to its frame. From that moment onward, an unexplainable connection emerged between Daniel and me, one that was both disconcerting and difficult to express. Even though we didn't articulate the subject, I felt the heaviness of that moment hanging in the air, tangible every time our eyes met. Like a smoldering fire flickering in the quiet of the house, a serene harmony wrapped around us, a secret known only to him and me. The subsequent event transpired with a remarkable fluidity, as though we were bound by an unvoiced connection, instinctively aware of how to begin. As we ventured further into the room, the door closed firmly behind us. Daniel would approach, his touch a captivating mix of strength and tenderness, resonating with the claim he held over me. Though I can't say I was wholly opposed, a part of me yearned for that thrilling rush, a fusion of excitement and peril. In the moments spent with Daniel, reality seemed to dissolve, leaving me lost in a fog of uncertainty. An overwhelming surge of emotions enveloped me, leaving me quaking and ablaze from within. It surpassed the boundaries of mere physical connection. In Daniel's presence, my body turned traitor, every cell sparking a reaction that quickened my breath and sent my heartbeat into a frantic race. The magnetic pull of Daniel remained, while all worries and thoughts of consequences slipped into oblivion. In those moments, as the stillness wrapped around the room once again, I would become immersed in deep thought. A feeling of unease washed over me, a reality my parents, who had always held unwavering faith in us, would never acknowledge. Yet, I discovered that I could not let go of that sensation, that deep and inexplicable emotion. A fervent longing enveloped me, pulling me closer with an unquenchable thirst, while simultaneously igniting a flicker of apprehension deep inside. In the company of my parents, I habitually wore a facade of normalcy, hiding the profound emotions that lay buried within the depths of my heart. Despite an inner awareness that not everyone would support this union, Daniel and I felt an irresistible pull that kept us from walking away. As time went on, I kept everything cloaked behind the familiar walls. Nevertheless, I have always understood that this state of affairs cannot endure indefinitely. Fear held me back from stepping in, but I found it impossible to imagine the instant when the truth would finally emerge. We continued our descent, day after day, as though caught in an unyielding vortex. Articulating my feelings on the day I learned of my acceptance to a far-off institution was quite the endeavor. The gateway to the future should have brought me joy. However, it was a sense of melancholy that wrapped around me instead. Deep within, I recognized that this marked the conclusion of my journey with Daniel, my companion, my confidant, and the one who ignited feelings in me that words could never fully express. I made an effort to banish it from my mind. As my departure approached, I convinced myself that the distance would liberate me from these chaotic emotions, and that stepping into a new chapter would calm my unsettled soul. Each time I gazed into Daniel's eyes, a wave of betrayal surged within me, as though I were jeopardizing the unique bond we once shared. As I prepared to leave, a haunting stillness settled over the house. Daniel followed closely, his mournful eyes tracking my every action as my parents assisted me in packing my belongings into a suitcase. He seems to grasp that everything would shift irreversibly once I left. I leaned in, wrapping my arms around Daniel for one final embrace as the car readied itself to pull away. Though his fur held onto a lingering warmth, an unshakable depth of melancholy surrounded our embrace today. In a tender effort to restrain me, Daniel leaned his head gently against my shoulder. My eyes filled with tears, but I fought to keep them at bay in front of my parents. The automobile set forth on its journey. I directed my eyes toward that way. Daniel's eyes shimmered in the morning light as he stood on the doorstep, yet beneath that brilliance lay a deep, unsettling emptiness. Instead of following me, he opted to remain motionless, watching as I walked away. The image remained etched in my mind, a poignant goodbye, its sorrow transcending the boundaries of words. The journey to school was a whirlwind of thoughts about Daniel, each one tumbling over the other in my mind. My thoughts drifted through a rich tapestry of memories, intricately woven with secrets and moments that were ours alone. I pondered whether leaving would mark the final chapter or merely the beginning of an unquenchable desire. In this distant realm, a profound yearning for Daniel wrapped around me, yet doubt clouded my thoughts about whether he would ever remember me again. Leaving behind unrecognized feelings, hidden realities, and a friendship forever altered, I set forth into a new chapter of my life. As I reflect on the breadth of our relationship, I come to understand that the intricacies of human connections and the shifting tides of our emotions invariably surpass what we anticipate. In those captivating years, I had the privilege of sharing my journey with Daniel, a loyal friend whose steadfast support was by my side from the tender age of 14, as I navigated the complexities of life. That bond, however, brought forth a tempest of complex emotions, offering profound lessons throughout the journey. At first, I realized that love embodies both a responsibility and a connection. To genuinely love another, whether a fellow human or a beloved pet, one must nurture respect and understanding. Though emotions that transcend the usual can be perplexing, it is crucial to grasp how to uphold your ethical principles in order to determine what is right. Furthermore, I came to realize that some relationships, no matter how beautiful, necessitate a certain distance for both individuals to flourish. Parting ways with Daniel proved to be one of the most difficult choices I have ever encountered, but it was essential for my journey ahead. Sometimes, separation acts as a catalyst, allowing us to carve out the space needed to fully embrace the lives we are destined to lead, rather than representing a loss of something dear. I urge everyone to value their relationships while also staying true to the importance of reason over emotion. Life unfolds like a rich tapestry woven with intricate emotions, and there are moments when the weight of your circumstances may feel overwhelming. In these moments, pause to contemplate what is truly right and what will authentically bring joy to you and to that which you hold dear. Authentic care, balanced with boundaries to safeguard the welfare of both oneself and others. Not every emotion should exceed its natural boundaries, and not every feeling requires expression through action. Daniel will always be a beloved memory from my childhood. In the midst of my quest for love, I also learned the delicate craft of release as our paths began to part ways. This precious lesson will forever be imprinted in my heart as I embark on my journey of growth. Though Daniel is no longer with me, the connection we forged endures, precious and unparalleled.